Chapter 4, My Incredible Parents. I have many fond memories of both my parents growing up. So much of the good I carry with me today is rooted in what they showed me and taught me by example. One of the most impressive things about my parents, especially my mother, was how she viewed her role in life. I believe that today, people who value equality would applaud the way she lived. Mom worked hard, right alongside my dad. I remember vividly the time she helped him expand our attic into a bedroom because she was pregnant with Jimmy. I can still see her in my mind, pregnant, straddling a high lift, helping Dad attach tiles to the ceiling. To Mom, gender roles didn't mean much. She taught me how to cook, clean, iron, and help others, skills that had nothing to do with being a boy or a girl, and everything to do with being a good human being. She worked tirelessly both inside and outside of our home, contributing not just to the bills, but also to the little extras, the fun things we wouldn't have had without her income. Dad, on the other hand, was a classic man of his generation. Growing up streetwise, he wasn't always the most honest person I knew. Looking back on my childhood, I have to admit he taught me a few bad things along with the many good. One night, I witnessed something that would shape my view of the world forever. I saw my parents arguing. Then I watched my father grab my mother by the hair and pull her from their bedroom. Even now, the memory is vivid. That moment cemented in me a deep, unwavering intolerance for domestic violence. Even something so wrong, so painful to witness, was eventually transformed into a guiding principle in my life. This is not how it should look. I also learned other, less heavy lessons, like how to save money shopping. Although I don't think he intended for me to see it, I sometimes watch Dad quietly switch price tags on items to pay less. But before you think too harshly of him, let me be clear. Dad was not a terrible father. In fact, he was a wonderful father, in spite of his brokenness. He gave me the priceless gift of a strong work ethic. I believe he also passed on to me his sense of humor, which has carried me through more tough days than I can count. I remember one day he was teaching me about power tools in his wood shop. He said, "Eddie, the most dangerous tool in a shop is the table saw. Whenever you cut small pieces of wood, always use a push stick." One afternoon, working alone, I was cutting a small piece of wood. I remembered his warning, but when I couldn't find a push stick nearby, I thought I'd just be careful. As I fed the piece through the saw, it got stuck and kicked back. My finger slid dangerously close to the spinning blade. Blood went everywhere. I grabbed a paper towel, wrapped my hand, and rushed toward the bathroom. Dad saw me and calmly asked, "Are you okay? What happened?" I admitted I hadn't followed his instructions and cut myself on the saw. He moved the towel, looked at the cut, thankfully not too deep, and said with a grin, "If you're going to be stupid, you better be tough." That was Dad. Straightforward, a little rough around the edges, but always teaching, always loving in his own way. As Mom and Dad grew older, I would visit them often. They had been married well over 50 years. By then, words between them became fewer. They didn't need them. They would often just sit quietly together, smiling softly at one another, comfortable in the kind of silence only a lifetime of love can create. I remember watching them one day as they sat, saying nothing. Then Dad quietly asked, "Marion, would you like a glass of water?" Mom said, "Thanks, Leo. The two shall become one."